Okay, so we are very fortunate enough to have these lovely people with us who today, and it's the very first session of Romford Short Film Festival. I'm going to get them to introduce themselves. Sorry, I should also have said that they are from the film Memoirs, the short film Memoirs. If I can get you to introduce yourself from left to right, please.
Hi there, my name is Elijah Baker and I play Wesley Ellis.
Hello, my name is Adwoa Akoto and I play Dr. Nova Jones.
Hello, my name is Duaine and I'm the writer and director of Memoirs.
So, let's start off back to basics. Where did the idea of this story come from?
So, at the heart of it, I had a few friends over the years, or the past decade or so, who had unfortunately passed with things such as illnesses or just passing away, and I kind of said to myself, this hurts and I kind of want to pull the emotion out somehow. Couldn't really do it with music or with gym, it wasn't really working. I thought, let me do it into film, the thing that I love the most. So I decided to make this story where it was what would you do if you had another moment with someone where you kind of could say one more thing, what would you say? And then that kind of created what we now see as Memoirs, so yeah.
So, how did this whole thing start to piece together, and where did your wonderful colleagues here come in to the story?
Yeah, so I wanted to work with Elijah for a while. I've known him close to 10 years now, and he's a very strong actor, very emotive, and he can handle very tough topics. So I knew for a while I wanted to work with him. So a few years ago, we said that we're going to work on this. At first, we was trying to do it as a feature, but funding's a bit tricky, so we was we'll do it as a short first, and we're looking to a feature. And then I was looking for someone to play Dr. Nova Jones, and I asked around, and then I was given the contact of the lovely Adwoa, and then from there, kind of came together and just worked on the film earlier this year. So we made it throughout spring, did the edit, and then here we are now in the kind of film festival run.
And do you mind me asking what sort of budget you had to work with?
Yeah, so our budget was around 7k or so, and that was for the whole kind of making, the promoting and everything. So quite a modest budget, but still I think we did quite well with what we had to make the kind of drama sci-fi film.
And how long did the whole shoot take?
It wasn't too long. I feel like we filmed over maybe 2 or 3 days, and they were kind of half days. So we had the scene by the cliffs. I think that was the only scene we did on that day. And then one day we did the hospital and boxing, and then the other day the house scene. So didn't want to make it too long a shoot, but we wanted to still give enough time for it to breathe. So yeah.
And in terms of shooting specifically at the cliff scene, were there any challenges involved in shooting that scene?
Check with Elijah, what do you think?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, it was fun to shoot there. I love going to different locations and being outdoors and hiking. So that's a location I've seen before in pictures. Yep. And I was like, that's a place I'd love to go to. So when we were privileged enough to be able to shoot there, it was great, and it was safe. They do have some form of protection where the cliff is, just in case you get a bit too excited, a bit close to the edge. And the way made sure we didn't, I didn't get overexcited and stand on the edge in order to feel like I was in some sort of, epic tale. But yeah, that in itself, it was quite windy, wasn't it? It was quite windy that day, obviously, the cliff edge. However, challenge-wise, it's an independent, it's low budget, so, we do our best to have more than one gig sometimes, in a sense of when we're there, everyone's helping out, carrying equipment up the actual, up the hill was a bit tricky, but you're not going to not do it if you're there, because you're a team, So anyways, apart from that, it was cool. It was Duaine's very easygoing and very chilled, but knows what he wants. So it's not difficult to work with Duaine at all, even if he has got a lot of time restraints and it's a tight budget. So we didn't really face a lot of challenges at all. But that was only the trickiest because it was windy and because it was a hill.
you know, obviously working in the independent film industry, sometimes you just sort of rock up and shoot wherever you want, and that's very much something that I did. I'm not going to lie. My favourite trick was always to shoot in someone's garden if I wanted to appear on the street. And so I'd knock on someone's door and say, "Do you mind if I shoot a scene in your garden?"
Like a stranger.
Yeah, and they'd be like, "Yeah, okay, let's do that." And because I wanted, you know, I might have wanted Big Ben in the background or something. You know, it's like, it looks like I'm in the street. That's fine. So we'll stick with yourself. What is it that drew you to this project? I mean, I understand you say, you know, working with Duaine's great, but was there anything specific that really sort of sang out to you on the project?
Yeah, Duaine, I owe Duaine a favour. No, I'm joking. I really like the idea. And for me, that's whenever we are fortunate enough in this industry to be able to choose projects that we want to work on. You know, a lot of people say, oh, you know, I chose to do that. A lot of the time, when people are coming up and whatnot, they feel like they've got to just do as many things as possible. But in this case, of course, it was a situation where it was like, yeah, I actually want to do this. And Duaine and I, like Duaine said, known each other for a number of years. And we do want to make this a feature. So this is a sample, really, of what's to come. And it'll pretty much be the same, most of the same people involved. But this film, it has heart. And for me, it's always about heart, and it's always about the story. It's always about, at the nucleus of it, is this a film worth doing? Is it a story worth telling? And it is. And that's what mainly drew me to it, not just the people involved in it, but just at the core of it, it's got heart and it means something and it will make an impact and it touched me. So if it touches you, then you should do it. That's how I feel about it, and so that's why I was happy to say yes and proceed.
I appreciate that, you know, you're literally saying there's almost like 3 scenes. So maybe not so many challenges, but was there any moments of elation for you when you were shooting the film where you just thought, that was great? Was there any like real high points where you just think to yourself, that looked really good, or, you know, like, or something came together that maybe you thought might have been more problematic? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think definitely the cliff scenes. I think not so much watching it. I think watching it back, I liked how the silhouette shot came out with Wesley in the room. But on shooting, because it was so windy, I was really worried about the sound. Because before I hired the sound guy for this, on my older films, it would just be my microphone and my camera. So I was like, I'm not sure about wind. But he was like, no, I've got the right kit. I was like, I trust you. So when I got back the sound and I heard it, I was like, I can't hear the wind. And he was like, I know. And I was like, this is great. So I didn't realize that it would sound like so clear.
Yeah.
And then there were people walking around on that day, but when they saw us filming, they were like they were letting us know, we're not gonna get in your shot, we won't talk. Yeah. So the people who were around Clent Hills by Eastbourne, they were really like just welcoming. So it was just great filming there. Because originally I was thinking, do we do green screen to make it easier? And then the DOP was like, no, we have to make it natural. Let's drive there. It's going to be a bit longer, but it will look better. And I agree, because it felt better just being there on a set. Yeah.
Yeah, performance-wise as well, it was obviously easier for us to be in the space rather than imagine. We didn't have to imagine much because we was right there. So I'm glad that you made that decision to do it, because it just made it better.
Yeah.
And in terms of going back to location, so in terms of the gym, using the boxing ring, was that a favour called, or was that did you just approach somebody to use the venue?
Yeah, just approached someone online. I was looking at space hires and then found someone, really cool guy called Emmanuel. I only charged like around 40 or something per hour, so it was really good price. So we went there, filmed, and yeah, it was just really welcoming. Even showed our Kira, who plays Faye, showed her a bit of like boxing before we went through a bit, because you know, she's not like a boxing real life, but she does train here and there. But it's a thing where when we do the feature, which is the hope, we will like have him kind of help out and coach, because we will have like fight scenes in the feature. So yeah, it'd be really cool, but just like really grateful for people helping out.
I really love the fact that you did leave the door open for whatever's next. So I think that's great. I'm going to go and ask some questions from our audience, or hopefully I'm going to ask some questions from our audience. Does anyone ever have any questions for Memoirs? Go on, don't be scared. Oh, here we go.
Hello. Oh, okay. Where did the tech idea come from for the glasses situation and that whole backstory?
Wow, it was all Adwoa's idea. No. So, well, it was hard because I wanted something which made sense. Because originally in the feature version that was written, it was meant to be a thing where he's going through a portal. But I was like, we can't afford to do all of that. So I need something a bit more smaller, a bit more streamlined. So I just thought to myself, something that kind of covers his head or face. So I did a lot of looking online. I was looking at 3D printing, Oculus and things like that. But I didn't want it to feel too game-ish. But eventually I found those glasses. And I was just like, this works. And then we did a bit of VFX for the light. And then from there, I was like, okay, I can work with this because it kind of feels like it's going into his mind. And then, I just feel like it works as a kind of piece of tech. It's not too over the top, but it looks somewhat realistic, so yeah.
Is there anybody else out here with any questions? Just tucking around the corner. They're all very shy today. Okay, I'd like to do that just in case we get any really quirky questions that come out. Okay, you said, sorry if I mispronounce this, Adwoa?
That's actually perfect.
Yeah? So you indicated, did you have some sort of hand in this? Because you sort of like indicated in her direction as if there was something that you brought in, or did I miss something there wrong?
We just want to throw her some questions.
Oh,
yeah.
Duaine's so lovely. He's just like, we'll give you a question, but I'm happy to be a sponge, honestly.
So what was I'll stick with you.
Oh gosh.
So
No pressure.
just to put you on the spot. How was it working with Duaine?
Oh boy. No, I'm joking. Duaine is one of the loveliest directors I've ever worked with, and like people, like as a person. And because I didn't know him coming onto this job actually at all. I know Elijah from the scene, but Duaine reached out he reached out directly, but someone mutual kind of told me about him as well. And so it's very professional and it's very much business-like when that kind of happens. And I remember the first email he sent me was so thorough. Like he just really knew what he wanted. The treatment was so on point, the script, because it always starts with story for me. And when we had a conversation, he was just so open to the collaboration. I just felt, even though he had these really strong ideas and viewpoints, it was also just a very he was very happy to take on feedback and anything that you wanted to contribute to everything. We're talking makeup and costume and, just the really fine details. And I just found that really cool that we could have those conversations and it'd be so open and have some autonomy as well with that. So yeah, I've really, really enjoyed working with Duaine, and I consider you a friend now actually. So. Yeah.
And should this be expanded into a film? What would you like to see happen to your character?
Well, I've read the feature.
Right.
And it's good.
Okay.
It's good. I think she's the right level of intelligence and warmth and a moral compass in the film, and that's all I'm going to say for now.
Okay. Yeah. Right. So let's go through this with all of you. So what have you been working on since the film? And have you got any future projects that you're currently lining up other than a feature film version of Memoirs?
At the moment it's just mainly been Memoirs. There is something that should be coming out soon. So end of last year I worked on a documentary with the Met about just the London Race Act, just about kind of black British police officers and trials and tribulations they've gone through. So there was a screening a few weeks ago, but I couldn't make it, but it should be coming out soon. So that should be quite good just to kind of see how that comes out. But apart from that, it's just getting ready for the feature, because that's how I kind of envisioned it first, but we've gone to the short. But hopefully, if it's done in time, I know Romford have your main festival, which is kind of shorts and features.
Yes.
So it would be great to kind of come back to showcase the full film. So that's the hope, yeah.
How about yourself?
So firstly, actually, I want to say, because you mentioned about being an independent filmmaker, and this year everyone talked about how slow it was because of the industry and all of that. But for indie filmmaking, I've been so busy. Like, people have really just got stuck in. I've done like 5 indies top of this year already. So yeah, I think, and really, really good scripts actually. So yeah, really, really proud of us artists for just getting out there and getting stuck in. And I've got some exciting work that I'm filming next year, which I found out last week. So I've got 2 TV projects that I'm working on.
Nice.
Yeah.
And yourself?
It's expensive, right?
Yes.
Yeah. At the moment, so there's a movie that I shot last year, a movie called Tapped.
Right.
It's about a severely autistic neurodivergent character who studies martial arts in his spare time, and long story short, he takes on this local gang who's troubling someone who he cares about more than anyone in the world. And yeah, it's done really well through the festivals, and we've won a few awards here and there, and it should be released next year.
Excellent.
And so yeah, for me, I starred in that, and that's the first time I produced a movie as well, and I co-wrote it. It's a few hats that I wore for that one. So that one, really looking forward to everyone getting an opportunity to see that next year when it's released.
I think you won an award. What was the award called again?
Oh yeah, so the movies. Do you know what it is? For me personally, when I win awards for this film, it's great. But because I've got my producer hat on, I'm just like, it's great for the film. I'm not even thinking about myself. But yeah, I've won a few actor awards for it.
Was it Best Male Actor?
Best actor. Thank you, Johnny. Yeah, nice plug. And so but that's producer hat on, just like, this is great for the film. Like, and then I'm like, I appreciate it too. But I'm like, this makes people pay attention. When you win awards. And there's another project I'm working on right now, which I can't really go into too much detail about because I've signed an NDA, so I don't lose.
Love those NDAs, yeah. But
yeah, so, and that's a great project. It's in something that I've always wanted to be in. So I'm looking forward to that coming out when it comes out. We're filming it at the moment, and so just other projects as well. And of course, Memoirs is a focus as well, because we want to shoot that at some point next year. However, like you said, with the exception of Memoirs. So we're just working, and it's great to see so many people working as well. Everyone involved in the film, in front of and behind the camera, in terms of Memoirs, is working on bits and pieces too. So Adwoa's right. Like this, it's great. It feels like indie film is back.
Yeah.
And it's back with not a vengeance, but it's back with some serious heat, because I think a lot of people are not tired, but there's a bit of fatigue with some of the other movies that have been coming out. So people have, some great big budget movies coming out too, but I'm just saying the heart seems to be like, mainly an independent film, which seems to have made a resurgence. So we're happy to be a part of it.
I think it's important that, I think for yourselves, you're talking about wearing different hats, and that's the key, isn't it, to the indie film industry, is that people that work in indie film, they're happy to wear different hats, they're happy to do different things. You were talking about, getting stuff up the cliff and things like that, and I think people don't realise when they look at an independent film how stuck in you get in everything, and I think those that thrive are the ones that will just throw themselves in on almost everything, because you've always got a job, haven't you? You've always got something next to move on to. If, for example, you had a bottomless pit of money, and again, excluding Memoirs, what would your passion project be?
Wow.
Is for all 3 of you, so don't think you're getting off easy in the middle and the end.
You know what? I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard the soundtrack. I really want to adapt Ragtime, the musical, into a feature film.
Right,
I just love the songs and just the whole thing. So that is a hope one day. Because I've got a music background, so I've done music films in the past, but I would love to do something like that one day. So we'll see.
Excellent.
You go.
Do you know what? It's difficult to choose one because there's about 20.
Yeah.
But off the top of the head, because of getting inspiration from what Duaine just said. There's a series of novels that I've been reading since I was a kid, and they're called The Edge Chronicles.
Right.
And in a nutshell, it's sky pirates. So anyone that's seen Treasure Planet, which is based on Treasure Island, knows about the sky pirates. Basically, pirates in the sky, flying ships, but not in space. And I would love to see that turned into a big, budget adaptation. So yeah, if there was a bottomless pit, then I'd fund it. I'd want to be in it too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But yeah, that would be amazing to see. Yeah, off the top of the head, that one, because it's full of wonder and magic, and it's brilliant. And these are the kind of, sometimes you get all these other franchises, and you just think this could just be another one that could do really well, which has got heart and which is great. So yeah, The Edge Chronicles, check it out if you haven't read it before. It's great.
Excellent.
Oh,
I'm waiting on this one. This is like the moment of truth. Come on.
Wow, no pressure, Spencer. Oh gosh, it's so tough because I feel like it's changed so much for me. But I just really love stories, and I think it always comes back to the heart of the story. So I've recently launched a storytelling platform where we sort of spotlight unheard Black stories throughout the ages, and just like reading about stories and people who existed. It's meant to be fact and fiction, and all of it's been fact at the moment, but they sound like fictional stories. And I was saying in my bag right now in terms of characters, the first TV role that I booked was I May Destroy You. And I played a 90s African woman, immigrant, who'd come to the UK, so from Ghana, actually Ghanaian woman who came to the UK, and kind of the fabulous, maybe not kind of what people would have considered a Black woman from Ghana would be like coming into the UK. And I've done that now like 3 times, and it's so funny because I'm writing a story that is actually set in the 90s of when a lot of Ghanaians came into the UK as immigrants and what the society was like then. And it's a love story. It's about, I guess, papers, and yeah, it gets really, I don't want to go into all the details, but it's a love story between a Ghanaian and Jamaican, and it chronicles kind of those, that kind of, is it animosity that existed between those two cultures before we came together? But then also it kind of shows the beauty of our cultures that existed then, and the unity that existed as well in those individual cultures. So I'd like to fund, I guess, my stories and other exciting stories that I've been reading. So yeah.
Excellent. Well, listen, thank you very much for bringing your film here. We very much appreciate it. We look forward to seeing where else it ends up, and we look forward to seeing Memoirs, the movie.
Thank you.
Big round of applause for these wonderful guests. Thank you.